Hey mamas, we are back with episode 2 of our Positive for COVID series.
This part we're not really so positive. You said you don't like to call it your anxiety, but how the anxiety affected you during this time, right?
It's kind of positive though because I worked through it in a positive way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't allow it to get me down because you know it can get me down.
But what were some of the things that you were experiencing that you labeled as
Anxious feelings.
Yeah.
Anxiety is triggered for me when I don't have control over a situation.
Right.
And you know, I know that I'm going to a hotel, but I've never been to this hotel on this side of town.
Mm-hmm.
And something just as simple as that had me like, oh Lord. And then when I got to this said hotel, that I actually picked it out, and my husband had to keep throwing it up in my face that you chose this hotel and now you want to leave. You being a brat. But baby, man, this was a meth rehab hotel. That's what I felt like, okay? And
So just imagine me as a mom, right? This is the part where I have to learn how to let go. Okay, so when anxiety takes, I was listening to day 13 of my meditation like every day. I was on day 13 like every day. And I'm still on that because me personally, I'm not going to say we unless you can relate. There is an art to letting go of the need to know the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my thing. Whether it's, I literally, sometimes we hold on to stuff for our children that I didn't even realize I was holding on to. I had to like, look, this is not your battle, number one. Even when it came to the house, this is not your issue. This is not your battle. You told her what you heard and felt, and you have to let it go. When you're an empath, you kind of feel too much sometimes, and I had to learn how to balance that out. That's what it was.
overwhelming.
It is so overwhelming, and so during that period of time, I had to sit on the edge of my balcony in my spot and meditate on letting go of you, of all the other situations that 2020 had brought.
Yeah.
I was like unconsciously, I guess, holding on to it like this. You know what I mean? When you hold on to something, you don't even realize, and then you're not even breathing when you're doing it.
So when you say holding on to it, I often found myself, like my whole body tensing up.
Yes.
So like I would notice it and I'm like, okay, let me relax. Like from my feet like this to my calves tight to my stomach. And I'm like, I gotta relax. Like, okay, I'm in this hotel that I probably would have never picked again or would have referred anybody else to. I'm also trying to keep the peace in my marriage because now my husband calling me a brat because I'm on Airbnb like, let's pack up all this stuff and go somewhere else. And he's like, no, let's stay. This is a humbling experience and we're gonna look back at this and laugh. I'm still not laughing yet, but like literally, like the gas was siphoned out of his car one night and he still wanted to stay.
You never told me about that.
Because I don't tell you everything. You see how she worry. I don't have to tell her everything. And I'm just like, okay.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. So 6 days and a wake up, okay? But we got through that. We got through that part, and I got through a lot of that because I just kept focusing on the fact of this is a humbling experience. This is a humbling experience. You know, some of these people are in this hotel because they can't go anywhere else. You know, so just be grateful that this is a short-term thing for you. And I think I know also a lot of the anxious feelings came because I didn't know for sure if that was a short stay for me. But that, the hotel experience was definitely an experience. And my husband going on his first interview for his new job in the hotel room on Zoom. Y'all, he had on his nice button up and basketball shorts. He matched the hotel vibe. So
like a lot of Zoom calls now. Anyway.
Yeah. But he sold
Look real
himself.
good up here.
Yes, he sold himself another part of anxiety. I couldn't control if he was going to get that job. So
did you find yourself trying to tell him how to answer those questions when he was in the interview?
I actually left the room.
Oh, that was smart.
Because I could see myself behind the camera like, okay. Sit up. So I was just like, me and Royce left and we took a ride. But honey, I was texting him, is it almost done? Did you finish? He had finished 10 minutes before and waited to text me back because he likes to play with me. But I'm like, how did your interview go? Oh, I got the job. I'm like, how you know you got the job? Because again, it's like, no, tell me the facts. This is all like stacking, like Legos. So it's the hotel that I'm still in. Now the solidifying a job. And then we got the job. Now we have to send all that information over to our lender and see if they feel like this job is good enough to grant us a loan. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm putting so much in other people's hands. That's how I felt. Then I had to take a step back. No, this lender has a job because I chose this company to be my lender. I had to start looking at it that way. This lady is interviewing my husband because he sent his resume to her. I'm not putting control, or we were not putting control in these people's hands. We chose to do things this way, and now we have to let it work.
Let go of the need to know the outcome.
That's it. I had to look at it in a different way. And then it was closing day. Right? Okay. That's a ball of nerves in itself because I made the mistake of YouTubing closing day outcome. So don't make that same mistake. Learn from this, mama. Don't do that because you're setting yourself up just to be uneasy for somebody else's outcome. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be your outcome. I started to meditate more often, do breath work during that process, and that helped me a lot. I also started back journaling. And
what's amazing is when you look back at the stuff you journal, all of those days of doubt, all of those days of anxiety, and then all of those days of triumph.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that help you process the next journey or the next level of your journey.
I also started smoking marijuana. Actually,
it didn't make you feel like you were in the forest and feeling.
No, because my husband found a strain that works for me. Because I was about to drive him crazy. I found myself not being
pushed the point. I'm just playing.
I found myself not being able to sleep at night, and this started happening once I actually got into my home because it was like, oh, I'm in this house now. Now I got to make it my home. I got to sweep. I got to mop. I got to clean. I got to paint. I got to decorate. And it was just like, now it's becoming a little manic now. Chill. I also put my kids on a schedule. I went back and, told them their wake up times, their break times, their chore times, their shower times, their bedtime. So my house is quiet by 9:30. And that gives me a moment to, first of all, reflect back on my day, have some quiet time with my man, and take a couple of puffs so that I can melt in my bed at night.
And feel the fur. Feeling like you're in a forest or a lion purring.
Just saying. Now
I'll never let you live that down. I'm sorry.
Well, there was a time my mom came to visit, and I think they did more than 2 puffs. 2 puffs is my limit. You know how some people have like a 2-drink limit? 2 to 3 puffs is my limit, and I call myself having some fun. I I was morphing, okay?
I have footage.
Because I knew it wasn't for me.
Now I'm starting to shake on the outside, so.
Actually, you're not shaking.
So,
You saw my eyebrow?
No, I did
Some
not.
Did the
chemical?
rock. So what is it when you shake it from the inside?
It's crazy.
you cold.
I
Come on, Pastor. She has eyes coming out the side. Right over there. She's morphing.
Timbers.
I think I am. I'm just. If they gotta take me, change my drawers. They got to come clean. Or just take them off or something. If you ain't got time to change them, just leave them right here.
All right.
I couldn't quite say what I was morphing into until like just a couple of days ago. It was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Anyhow, that's the cat's out of the bag. Okay,
She smokes now.
and still not as much as she does. Look, that makes me feel better. Okay, that makes me feel better. I encourage all of our mamas to really find out what's triggering these feelings, first of all, and what is going to positively help them work through them, because you can't just stay in it. And it's not going to be easy. I hope that I'm being as real and as transparent as possible, because it was not easy. Right.
Because the way 2020 has dealt the cards to us, it's almost like every tragedy that has happened, we were never really prepared for it. Typically, you know, after things like that happen in a sequence, you're like, what's next? You wake up every morning like, okay, what's going to happen next?
You're ready for war.
You're ready for
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Someone told me, and I want to share it with you all, that if you have fallen on your face, roll over and look up, and then get up. Because that's your chance to do it again. Try again. Don't stay in a negative headspace, because you can fall so deep in a black hole that then you won't see the goodness that's waiting for you if you just continue to walk through. I hope and I pray that this has encouraged you and has shown you that although we can be going through something negative, there is a positive, but you got to walk through it. You can't. I didn't stay in that hotel room. You know, I didn't stay stuck in my uncertainty. I looked at what could happen because of this uncertainty. So try it out. We will see you all next week.